This is the Future of the Future show. I am your host, Mateo Berbejicio. The most common educational path for HR leaders is a bachelor's degree in HR, business, or psychology with a master in business or HR. Most HR leaders spend most of their career working in HR. At Xseed, we are trying something new. We are a software development company after all. So why not trying someone with a background in software development? This is the story of Diego Castro, from QA automation lead to people manager. Why, when, and how? Stay tuned to learn more. Diego, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Mateo. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you, Diego. And let's get started with the very basics. What do you do today for a living?
Okay, so weird question. Should be simple, but it's a weird question actually. Currently, I'm the people manager at Xseed. I have been in this role for I think almost 2 months now. Yeah, what I can tell you basically is that we don't do traditional HR. As you mentioned before, I have a technical background. So the idea is for the department to embrace new technologies and just boost productivity within our team.
Very good. And so, what's your story, right? What's your background? How did you get started in technology? We'll talk about your transition to HR later, but let's the whole QA automation lead thing. How did you get there?
That's a really good question. That's actually a question that I used to ask candidates for QA roles, because I'm pretty sure that nobody in the whole history dreamt about becoming a QA. Every single QA just like wakes up and say, "Okay, I just became a tester." That's actually how I got into the industry. So a little bit of background. When I graduated high school, I didn't know what to do. To be honest, I didn't care a lot about what to do. So I enrolled in four different careers. No, I didn't finish any of them. I started enrolling the first one was biochemistry. I hated biology. I hated chemistry, but I had a really good friend that loved both. He wanted to become biochemistry, and I just followed him. Uh, Surprised that didn't turn well. So I ended up leaving the career after 6 months. Again, I didn't know what to do. So I got into engineering university. I spent a year and a half there. It was pretty good, but there's something that I always found odd, and that's the traditional way of educating people. To me, it's kind of weird to have like a hard-coded schedule with a hard-coded person to learn the same thing for 6 months, 1 year, whatever. So I really like the field. I love software development. At that time, I wasn't really sure if I loved software. I just liked engineering. And that didn't turn out so well, just because it kind of bored me. But I was pretty good at it. So I wanted to do another switch, and I went for the third career. And I enrolled in to get my bachelor's degree in business administration. And that was easier than engineering, to be honest. And it was pretty cool. We get to learn things that were used daily, how to manage a business, marketing stuff, accountants, whatever. But I honestly didn't know what to do with that either. And I remember on the first semester, I was in a class. I don't remember the subject, but I remember that there was this guy that kept talking all the time. saying interesting stuff. He mentioned that he had a background in technology. And I was like, okay, this guy is saying some cool stuff. So I don't remember how, but we had to do like small groups, and they were randomly chosen. And I don't remember how, but I remember that I did something just to get on the same group as him. And he ended up being one of my best friends today. He told me all about technology. He at that time, I think it was like 8 years that he had been working as a QA, and I was totally fascinated about what he told me. Like it was a really different industry from what I was used to hearing. He took me to get into it, and I enrolled in a QA course that lasted a year. And as I said before, I just woke up one day and I realized that I was a QA. So I did my fourth switch to get my bachelor degree in software development. And the same thing happened to me. I didn't like going to classes at a stipulated time every week with the same person. I don't like that slow-paced learning. It's just not for me. I get why that works for most of the people, but I like to learn at my own pace. If I want to spend 8 hours in a single day on a single topic, I love that way of learning. Maybe after that day, I spend a week doing nothing, but those 8 hours that I really focused on that specific subject, uh, that was like the best strategy for me to learn new stuff. And that's where I realized, okay, my field is going to be technology, 100% sure, and I'm going to learn by myself. And again, I transitioned from being a manual QA to an automation QA. I call it like a full stack QA because I learned to automate the UI, APIs, databases, a lot, different kind of testings. And then I became a QA lead. I was in charge of a small team there. And I don't know why. I became a people manager, and that's where I am today.
I think we both know a little bit of that answer, but we will keep that for next questions. Going back to the QA automation lead, and so I don't know if it's I don't like labels, but it's so Gen Z, right? The whole thing about going from one to the other and trying to realize what you want to do in life, and not being anxious about it, right? Because I'm a mix between a Gen X and a millennial, and I will definitely get more anxious that you did, right? But I love it because you did a little bit of everything, and I am sure that helps you today keeping a broad view of everything that you are doing and a holistic view of everything that you are doing, right? But I want to go back to a word that keeps coming to my mind, which is curiosity. And do you think that's your biggest strength as well as a QA, being curious and like going deep? You see something that picks up your interest and you're going to go deep and focus, laser focus on that. It's a little bit of what you do as a QA as well when you were a QA.
Yeah, exactly. Like the QA role is something that is in between traditional developer and the end customer. So you have to think wearing both hats. You get like it's like a mix of what the developers need and what the product needs, and what truly adds value to a customer. So like this is something really typical for a QA to say, but there's a lot of back and forth with developers for really simple issues like something, I don't know, a bad written word. That's not something that would like fixing that. It's not going to enhance the product. It's not going to do anything new or whatever. But if a customer sees something that is spelled wrong, trust me that that's going to lower the confidence that that guy or that girl is going to have in the product. So those small details are the ones that truly add value or remove value from a product, and not fixing technical debt, for example. So it's like a you have to play as a software developer and as a customer,
Mm.
but I really focus on those small things, quirks, because there's a lot of people like me, and the role of the QA is to explain software developers that these tiny little things are the ones that regular people care about.
What are some of the best practices that you used in order to be able to convey that message and get across developers? Sometimes it's not easy, sometimes they want to listen to that, sometimes they are, you know, too deep into what they are doing. What were some of your best practices to get a good relationship and make them understand?
It's just like that's one thing that software developers do, that their code creation is their own baby. That's something that I really remember that I was taught the first week on my QA course, and man, that's reality. So when you approach a software developer to say, okay, this is wrong, or maybe this can be done in a better way, you have to be like really calm. You must have a lot of answers to provide because you're going to get a lot of questions. And it's a negotiation between the developer and myself and the QA, because maybe some like on some things that are broken, it's really clear that those need to be fixed. But there are some appreciation things. For example, the flow of a checkout, let's say, the button colors, the UI, the UX, that's more subjective. So by far the best approach I could take is just to have a regular conversation. Okay, what do you think about this? And first, I get the opinion of the software developer, because I want to know why you did this in this way. Because maybe you are right and you have some information that I don't. And once I have like the full answer, I share my point of view, and 99% of the time, the solution is something in between both opinions. But yeah, those guys, they think they create babies, and I totally understand it because I have been in their chair. But yeah, just be normal, be open to regular conversations where you might not be right, and that's fine.
So we keep adding skills that are going to be very relevant for our conversation later, but curiosity, patience, um, empathy, uh, negotiation skills, right? All of those very, very important.
Yeah, really, really important. Just actually like being a regular person, like you need to be able to talk to different people, people that are more outgoing, people that are more shy. But yeah, it's just being open to different opinions and being confident about sharing your point of view. Because there's something that every software development team needs to have on their mind, is that we are all working for the same thing. We want a happy customer, and we want a good company culture and that we can share. And because we spend a lot of time with colleagues, and we need to have like a good relationship in between people, and also make work fun, because we spend a lot of time working, and it's key that what you're doing challenges you, your teammates, and makes you laugh every once in a while.
Yes. Amen. Um, how did you transition into HR and why?
I don't know would be the real answer, but I'm going to elaborate a little bit. Why? Okay, so HR, it's like the way developers see HR is that they are like they have old manners. They don't like technology. They are just here to bother developers, and that's actually not how it works. But I agree that most of HR departments in most companies are like 1990s HR, and they don't fully embrace technology. They think that using spreadsheets is actually using technology or leveraging technology. But nowadays we have AI that it's wonderful. I guess we're going to talk about that later. But my thought was that HR can be done in a better way, in a more proactive way, in a funnier way, because everyone needs to learn technology. There's something that it has been you're in, you're out for a couple of decades, but since AI came to our lives, that's like a really hard you're in or you're out. So I saw some room for improvements on how HR was done in Xseed. We have like our core business is recruiting. We weren't using any technology in that department. So I thought, okay, this is like the process that makes it Xseed succeed. We are doing it 1990s style. And it's kind of weird. Let's think about it. Let's think how can we do it better and leverage AI. So I wasn't like I created an AI recruiter. That's a tool that we call internally. It's to evaluate people on the technical side and also on the cultural side. And I didn't, to be honest, I never thought about becoming part of the HR team. But once I started developing the solution and the solution worked, and the HR people started to embrace it and they wanted to learn from it, we saw that this boosted our productivity, shortened a lot of time. And I was like, okay, maybe HR is cool, not the old school HR. We can do 2025 HR in this way. And that's when I got the opportunity. And to be honest, I didn't think about it very much because it was a really, really new challenge. It's something that I never thought of doing. Actually, my father is a people manager at a bank, and I never in my life thought about becoming like having the same role as him. So it was fun when I got the opportunity. And I was like, okay, this can go really good or really wrong. And to me, that uncertainty, it's like the best thing in the world. Like if you can really screw it up, that makes you fear a little bit of failure. So you give your 100% efforts. And I don't know, it's just really low uncertainty. And I think we are on a really good path here. We took different approaches. We I started teaching our internal team on how to use AI, different tools, how to look for things. That's something that I saw a lot of memes when we talk about you build your resume as a developer. And one of the key skills that most of people don't put in a resume, but trust me, they should. It's like I know how to Google stuff. That sounds really, really stupid, but it's really powerful. And it's just that Googling stuff, curiosity. Okay, this guy said X technology. I don't know a single bit about it. So I go to Google. Now I go to ChatGPT or any other AI, and I learn at least the basics on different things. Uh, Years go by, you keep repeating this process, and then you start having like a more holistic view of everything. of businesses, of software development, happy customers, and I don't know. It was a transition that made sense. Uh, yeah, it was crazy when I got offered that position, and I'm really happy that I took the chance.
Very glad to hear that, Diego. Tell me a little bit about. So, what are your main goals today? That's my first one. What are you trying to achieve? What is important to you at Xseed when you think about people and your role?
Okay, so my role is to um, push HR closer to operations and to engineering departments. Um, as I mentioned before, there's like a traditional way of looking companies, and that's like the HR department on that way, and operation and engineering on the other way. And we are all working for the same company and trying to achieve the same goals. So my idea here is to, okay, HR is also a technical department. Let's talk with engineering. Let's talk with operations. Uh, People department shouldn't be like, okay, I need to take a PTO. I need some certificates. I don't know. That's the old school HR. So the way we are uh, doing HR at Exceed is okay. We learn technical stuff. We are up to date with all the AI news, and we communicate those to engineers that might be focused on their daily stuff, daily development stuff, but they don't have a lot of time for learning new things. And I think we are all aware that AI is crazy fast paced. Every week we have a really improved model, 100% better than the other one, and that repeats every single week. And developers don't need to be on top of that all the time, or they just can't be on top of that all the time. So what we do at Exceed, we are really up to date on everything that comes up. We mostly do like a superficial learning on all of the new products, and we share those things to our engineers. And they are the real technical people that are going to know how to leverage those tools. There's something really powerful on just communicating, okay, this exists, and this exists because of this problem. And I assure you that at least one of those engineers is going to say, that sounds pretty interesting. I'm going to look into it. I'm going to dig into that stuff. And that's what we try to do. We try to plant seeds on developers and wake up that curiosity that I'm sure that they have inside them. Because if not, they wouldn't be engineers. But that's like the way we do HR. It's more like an ongoing conversation, something that is fluent between different departments. And it's not like these are our policies, this is your first day, this is your onboarding. It's a conversation all the time between different departments.
Very good. So why is it so important to you that internally, within your department, you're leveraging the best technology, and how do you do that? How do you go about making sure that you are?
There's something that I find really powerful. I just came up from a meeting doing that, where an issue comes up. I don't know, we want this, I don't know, anniversaries being notified via Slack to people. A really simple problem that I might be able to fix that pretty easily on my own. But the approach I'm taking is, let's schedule a meeting where we do pair programming, but with this simple stuff. And I just share my screen, and I like, okay, this is the first thing I'm going to do. And I go into ChatGPT and I ask a really simple question that anybody could ask. And we have an open discussion. Do you understand what we are reading? Yes, no. I don't care if you don't understand at the first moment that we see the answer. I don't care if we have to go through this answer 10 times. If everyone on the call gets the first premise, like really gets the issue, or the first step of the solution, I'm totally fine with that. That's a really small win, but if you sum up a lot of small wins, you get like a really big win. And we have we have recruiters using AI for sharing information on our weekly meetings at Xseed. That's something that they don't even believe that they were able to do that, and it's just showing the way a developer would approach problems, taking down that myth that everything that engineers do is magic and it's extremely complicated, because it's not. To be honest, it's not. Nobody was born like knowing how to code or how to use really difficult and technical tools. Developers just Google stuff. And that's what I want, like what I'm trying to show non-technical people. They're really like that barrier uh, came down with these sessions. And for the developers that are listening this episode, they are going to, I guess that they are going to relate it with pair programming. It's just a concept that I took from development to HR, but we are not that different. We do different things, but the process of doing things can be really, really similar. And that's what I'm trying to integrate from my technical background into HR.
Do you think that eventually translates to better recruiting in the sense of there's this conception that in the world of HR and recruiting, and you said it, a lot of times you see a lot of people that don't have a technical background and they are trying to talk to engineers, and there's a lot of people talking to a lot of engineers, and so engineers sometimes can get annoyed if they feel like the other person doesn't understand anything about technology. Do you think that the path you are taking and the way that you keep doing interviews, etc., is pushing the recruiters to kind of relate better to developers?
Yeah, for sure. This was one of the first conversations I had with the recruitment team. When we decided that they were going to start doing some of the technical evaluations and ask the technical questions, uh, I assured them that they were going, with time, they were going to know which candidates knew about what they were talking about and which candidates just knew the names of different technologies, and that was it. And that's happening. We have a little game when they come out from interviews where I asked them, okay, how did you see the candidate? I think was really good. He's going to be, I don't know, we score people from 1 to 5. I think he's going to fall between 2 and 2.5 on the technical side of the interview. And they are really good at it right now. And with that process, that chain of thought, that allows recruiters to really understand what a front end is, what a back end is, what a cloud service is, how the software development process is done in different projects. Nowadays they are able to like pick this candidate that was proposed to a full stack position, let's say, and know that that candidate might be a good fit for a backend position. And despite one position being a full stack and the other one a backend position, the same candidate can be a good fit on both. And that's just by knowing what React is, what really React is, in which language React is written. What does it mean that I can only write React in JavaScript or TypeScript and not in Java? Why and how do we use Java? With which frameworks? What is a framework? What are the different levels of frameworks? Some of them are tiny, some of them are like a really big toolbox where you have everything inside that toolbox to do the APIs, to build front end, to build the communication with your database. And they are really aware of that. They now know how to switch between different roles. Um, and when a developer comes with a referral, for example, and there's not like an open position that really fits their referral, now we have the ability to really read that resume and think about how that referral is going to fit in our different positions, despite maybe not having something that would fit them 100% to their profile. And that's happening, and it's only about having open conversations with people and making people feel confident about asking questions. Because there's something in technology that's not very cool, that we think that there are stupid questions. And there's not a single stupid question in technology. It's just that you didn't get it at the first time or at the second time. But you can ask as many questions as you want, and it's okay. I actually like people that don't ask questions are the ones that go out from the meeting thinking that they lost their time.
Right.
So we just encourage people to ask questions, and it's a safe space. You don't need to know what Vue is for. I don't care if you don't know it. Let's just tackle it together.
Very good. Um, so you keep talking about the AI recruiter. Tell me a little bit about where does it stand today? How does a little bit of how it works, maybe briefly, and then what's your roadmap for the AI recruiter, and what's your role with the AI recruiter?
Yeah, so the AI Recruiter came up like a simple project that I wanted to build, as I mentioned out of times already, is that I come from a QA background. So QAs, we don't develop stuff, we just test stuff that gets developed. So it was my first time building a full stack product, and that only could happen with the help of AI. I like to say that if you know how to code and you know how to use any AI, you become a junior developer in anything. Uh, let's say that I have never used um, Express for building backends, and after I don't know 10, 15 questions to ChatGPT, I got a general idea about how Express works and what could I do and what couldn't I do with Express. So I started building that backend. Then I built the front end with Vue. Again, I had zero experience building front ends. And then I connected to a database. I defined different models to use for different interview stages. But it started like I don't know, like a really small personal project that had a really big impact on how we recruit people at Xseed. And I just started spending more time developing new features. What we do basically, we record the meetings, the technical and the soft skills interview. We do a little bit of transcription there. Then we analyze the technical stuff with different models. We said what we expect from all the skills that we are evaluating the candidate to get an overall scoring on how they went on how it went on the technical part. We also evaluate their English level for technical communication, but also for day-to-day stuff, because we want to recruit people that we want to work with, people that we can share a simple conversation about how was your weekend, and also people that can go really deep into technical stuff. So that's how we evaluate the English level. And one thing that, if I had to say at the beginning of the AI recruiter, I thought it was going to be the less important thing, but it's by far the most important one, and it's how we measure the cultural fit of a candidate with Xseed and with our clients. We have, I think there are 10 values that we want, or competencies, I don't know how you want to phrase it, but 10 values that we really want people to have when they work with Xseed. We came up with different questions to assess people on a behavioral psychology pattern to evaluate how they are going to work in more corporate companies. We companies that are more on starting, like they are on a startup level right now. How people embrace feedback, positive and negative feedback, and that's how it is right now. What we want to build this year, and it's on the roadmap, is to have our internal AI being trained with every single candidate that we interview. We also want to build a feature to assess the client's culture. That's something that we already did for a couple of clients, but it's not an official feature of the AI recruiter, where we just talk to the company's CEO, to the company's developers, to the VP of engineering, whatever, and we get the big picture on how they work, how's their culture, what will be a good fit for them. Someone that talks a lot, someone that is more shy, someone that is more proactive, whatever. And the idea is to keep nurturing our database with new candidates with different skills, with different working patterns, so we can mix our candidate pool and our clients on the cultural side of things to get a really good fit from a lot of the Latin American developers that are really talented out there, with some of our customers, our current customers and future customers. And there are a lot of ideas on the fly. Let's say we really want to build a feature for on-demand dashboards. And that would be, okay, clients, use our products. What do you want? Like, exactly, what do you want? And that's only going to shorten times for recruiting for from our side and from their side. And we just want to build teams where people get along with each other. Relationship matters is one of our values, and that's the core of the AI recruiter.
I love it. I love it. Let's talk a little bit about the future of the software engineer work. What are your thoughts? You are super embedded into AI. You are coding yourself. You are seeing a lot of stuff happening. You are seeing how our customers require developers, and what are they are using the developers for, how customers are requiring that we also use AI, etc. What are your thoughts there?
I don't think anyone can give a certain answer on that. So I'll just share my opinion. Uh, AI is wonderful, like really, really wonderful. As I mentioned at the beginning, I'm a self-taught programmer. So AI for my type, it's like something that we have always dreamed for. You have a really senior developer in any technology you want, just one message away. And that's to me, that's only going to be a tool, like a really powerful tool. You feel like you are Superman. You can fly with AI. You can do things that you never thought you could do, but that's just a tool. And the bar that's going to become the like something really common. People knowing how to leverage AI for things that they don't have the least experience in. How we see the field. To be honest, I think it's going to just grow, but it's going to be different. We are going to need less people to do more stuff, but that doesn't mean less people doing software development. That just means more people doing software development and having a lot of more products in the end. Uh, Yesterday, for example, I was talking with my girlfriend. She was building a nutrition plan for a family, and she was trying to reach out to a girl that she knew that is an expert in nutrition to ask a couple of questions. She couldn't reach her I don't know, I think she waited a couple of hours. This girl didn't respond back. And she just started using ChatGPT in agent mode, and she got the result that she was looking for in 10 minutes and without talking to this other girl. When she told me that, she's not a technical person at all. My reaction, I started laughing, to be honest. And my reaction was, do you realize that you just automated another person's job? But that doesn't mean that that girl is not going to have a job for nutrition stuff. She's going to do the same thing for other things that she's not an expert on. So in the end, there are two professionals that are going to only have more things to do and can take more things that they are not experts in. So to be honest, I only see more products, more products, and I don't like universities. But if I had to start a career in 2025, for sure I would start software development because it's only going to get bigger and bigger. And yeah, AI is your friend. It's not your enemy. It's not going to kill anyone. It's just going to give you more and more superpowers. And it's really cool to learn. So maybe you just get tired of being a software developer. You use AI to become a farmer. Yeah, you can switch jobs. You learn with your computer. You become proficient in a new field. And yeah, you can transition you can do more stuff in your lifetime and not being on the same job for 40, 50 years. Uh, but if I had to say, to define the future in one word, it's uncertainty. And that's fine. Actually, that's awesome. It's really cool not to know what's going to happen next.
What would be your advice for anyone listening that wants to venture into HR? What's important? What are some of the skills that they should keep in mind? What's important when, what will you tell them? I know you've been, a people manager for only a few months. That probably feel like an year or more, but what would be your advice?
Yeah, I think I don't remember a lot of my time being a QA, to be honest. And I spent 8 years doing QA. My advice would be learn how to talk to ChatGPT. Uh, just stop asking simple questions like, I want to do that. How can I do that? Spend a little bit of time reading an AI's documentation because you learn how to talk to the AI. And that's it, because AI is going to open a lot of doors for yourself. So always keep your curiosity on top of your head. Uh, Investigate new stuff. If something comes, catches your attention, do a quick ChatGPT search. Maybe you find something interesting and you're going to ask a follow-up question, and that's going to result in another follow-up question, and maybe you become an expert in a really simple thing. But that curiosity would take people miles and miles away because uh, learning is so cool. And I think that like the true magic behind AI is that all the barriers that used to exist to learn different things are down now.
Mhm.
So if you're curious and you like to learn, learning is something that is inside everyone here in this world. Uh, just embrace that thing that's calling you from inside of yourself and nurture that curiosity. Learn new stuff, read, try new things. It doesn't matter if the end result is something that you didn't expect. The end result to me shouldn't be your goal. Your goal should be learning how to do new stuff or how to do something fun. And the result in a promotion, more money, whatever, it's just a result. That you have power over that result, but that shouldn't be the goal of anybody. The goal should be the process for things.
Very good, very inspiring. Thank you for that. I have one final and very random question to you. What do you do when you are not working?
Okay, so I love football. Football. People always say people are really passionate about football. Say that football is the most important thing of the least important stuff. And I don't agree with that. I think football is the least important thing of the most important stuff. So my life outside work truly is around football, from playing video games to learning about different footballers' careers, to following my team, to following different leagues around the world. I play football on Wednesdays at 10 o'clock. Crazy. I don't recommend that to anybody. And I also play in the Sunday league, but it's actually on Saturday mornings with my team. We are awful. We might be the worst team in the league history, and I'm not kidding on that. And every year our team just grows. And that's because we love football as a sport. We are competitive people, but we like the group. We just love the sport. So as I mentioned, I play football in video games. I play football in real life. I do research on geographical stuff on which team played where, and I learned different capitals, history on different cities. And other than that, I love going on long walks with my girlfriend and my two dogs. We recently moved outside the city to the suburbs. We have a really big park, like a block away from us. So I love going with them and playing, going for runs with them. Um, and yeah, those will be my two top things to do. And also, there's something that's uh, transversal to everything. Good barbecues with my friends and my girlfriend. I love cooking. I really love cooking. But as you know, in Uruguay, Sunday barbecues are like almost religion, and I try to keep that every week.
Very good, very good. Football and barbecue, yeah, passport for life for Uruguayans. Diego, this has been an amazing conversation. Thank you so much, and I hope that we get to do this again in the future. You for the audience here, right? You've been on a few episodes as a guest with other guests. You've been an interviewer. We did once an episode with a QA expert, and you were the interview, and I was just there, to do the initial intros. And now you've been a guest for a full time episode. So thank you for being a huge part of Xseed and the Future of the Future podcast.
My pleasure. This was really fun. Time flight, to be honest.
Yeah.